Wonder, how many of y'all read something? And when you're reading it, you're thinking it's talking about what it is that you've been thinking about, as opposed to maybe it's something that you read that is on the concept and the topic of something that you never even thought about yet. But yet you're reading it thinking that it's for you. But it's really not, say, for you now. It may be for you another time. It may be for you before. It may be for you in a different way right now. But what you're reading may not always be what it is that you think you're hearing, because you may be hearing it in a way that you're wanting to hear it right now, as opposed to needing to hear it right now. My name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr., and I was born July 4th, 1986. Today, I read an interesting passage that really put a lot of thought in me about making sure that when we're reading stuff, making sure that you're not just trying to force it to agree with what it is that you're looking for and you want, but making sure that you're reading it in a way of what's actually going on here, what's actually being said, what's actually the meaning behind this. Not the meaning for just me specifically right this second because I want to hear some answers, but maybe the answers that you're looking for may be disastrous to you in the moment, where you're going to read something and it's going to sound like, I don't agree with that. But yet, do you not agree with it because it's not going along with what you want? Because you think that your wants and your everything is the right way? Or you're not agreeing with it because it's challenging. And you know it's true, and you know it's something that you need to work upon. You know it's something that you need to try to fix with yourself. Today, I read something in the book of Matthew, in the, pretty sure this is the 7th chapter, all the way down to the 24th verse. This is talking about the wise and the foolish builders. It's such an interesting, I'm going to say, statement here, because there's nothing before, and there's nothing on and after. It's just a statement in reality that when you read before, it's confusing. Then when you read after, it gets even more confusing, because we actually head on to a whole other chapter after this concept of say this is Jesus speaking. But it's an interesting thing that I can make this say whatever it is that I want to make it to say. I can make this say on something, unlimitedness. And it's something that I want more and more people to start challenging what you're reading, challenging what you're hearing, and challenging everything that's going on around you with when people are putting scriptures at you, when people are constantly like, this is the scripture for you right here, right now to be able to help you get through something. Or I'm going to say, that's very misleading. That's very manipulative in a way, to say that this right here is the passage that's going to be able to save you and cure you and give you the right information. Because this passage here is very interesting because, like I said, when you read above and below it, it's not giving any insight. But this is a passage that's really powerful. And it starts off by saying, therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew, beat down against that house. Yet it did not fall because it had its foundation on rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, the winds blew and beat up against the house, and it fell down with a great crash. When Jesus had finished saying these things, the crowds were amazed at his teachings, because he taught as one who had authority, and not as their teacher of the law. So when you read above this, it's talking about false disciples. When you read above that, it's talking about false prophets. When you read above that, it's talking about the gates being narrow and wide for the people. When you read above that, it's talking about ask, seek, and knock. If you need something, ask. If you're looking for something, just seek for it. And when you read above that, it's talking about judging others. So we're putting a whole lot of information here into this, where this specific thing that I just read is something that, in reality, we don't know exactly what he was talking about right here, right now, with what was going on. We don't know exactly the words they said to put into practice that he's talking about right here, right now. So for anyone that wants to use this for any sort of means, for any sort of way, they could. And they can make it fit to whatever it is that they want to make it to apply to. Because for me right now, when I read this, what I think about is making sure that I'm building the foundation, not on no silly home, but in my life, in my being, in my core, in my essence, in everything that I put around me and do around me, with all of my animals, with all the people that want to come into my life. Make sure that I'm building a foundation that's going to be strong. So knowing that we're all on the same page. We're all on the same wants and desires. We all are under the same needs. We are all under the same understanding that we are trying to work together. We're not trying to work against each other. And that's the foundation that I see when I read such a thing right now. But in reality, I can make that sound any which way I want. And that's something that is talking about the false prophets that had that, and talking about the false teachers above that. There's something that I would say with that I'm going to say. We all really need to question really hard the information that we're getting, and the information that we're seeking, and the information that we're asking. And that is above that again as well. Because sometimes there's some people out here that, not saying that they want to see the worst in you, but they don't want to actually see the best in you because they're hurting. And when someone else is hurting, they're going to put out a hurting message. When someone else is lacking, they're going to put out a lacking message. When someone else is just destroyed, they're going to put out an absolute message of destruction. And that's just because that's the way that their mind is and their thinking. And if their mind and their thinking is a certain way, they're going to 100% guaranteed be able to give you a passage that's going to be able to go on board with what it is that's going on in their world and their mind. And if they keep spreading that, and they keep spreading that, and they keep pushing that, and they keep getting you in on that, instead of getting you in on understanding that love is the way, that grace is the way, that faith is the way, that understanding on how to be able to be true with yourself and others around you is the way. If they're not pushing that, if they're pushing, if you don't believe, you're going to hell. If something bad happens to you, it was the devil, Satan did this to you. That's because that's what they're feeling inside. That's what they have inside of their core. That they have this, I need to be so perfect that if I'm not, then it must be something I'm doing wrong and the devil is coming to get me. As opposed to just looking at your own self and just saying, what am I doing that I'm not doing that I want to be doing? And that's where I'm going to say the majority of our challenges come from. Not from anything other than you just not doing what you want to do. Once you start doing what you want to do, you're going to start to be able to have an extreme high level of success on this planet because you're going to be doing that. You're no longer going to be sitting in your mind thinking, I wish I could this and I wish I could that. I wish I could be here. I wish I could make this happen. I wish I could drive this. I wish I could have this kind of girl. I wish I could have that kind of guy. I wish I could vacation here. You're no longer going to be doing that. You're going to be actually doing. And when you start actually doing and put it in action and put it in practice, you're going to realize most of your struggles are just going to vanish instantly. Because you're no longer going to be sitting around with this I don't knows and I'm not sure's. And it's something that a lot of people that I listen to and a lot of people that I watch, a lot of people that I used to listen to that I listen to again today that are I'm going to say confused in a way because they're still showing a message of absolute sabotage. That the reason that you're not able to get is because of the devil. The reason that you're not able to get is because Satan did this to you. The reason that you're not able to be fulfilled in this life because you're going to hell because you don't believe in the right thing. And there's multiple times in this book alone, and as well as other books and everywhere around that states, it's not a matter of, this may sound wild, but it's not a matter of, in reality, what you believe and what name set you want to put on what you believe. It's a matter of what's inside your heart and what your desires are and what you're trying to put out here to the world. It's your heart. Because my Bible says that many times. It's our heart that's being weighed. It's our heart that's being challenged. It's our heart that's being questioned. It's not our actions. It's not the names that we use. It's not how many times we pray. It's not how we pray. It's what's in your heart and what you're trying to do and what you're trying to put out into the world. And your heart is something that is not this beating thing that's inside of us that keeps us going, that science says that's what that specific organ is. Well, the heart is is who you are. You're everything all up and down. Your stomach, your intuition. Your stomach understands intuition. Your stomach understands a sticky situation that's going on around you. Your stomach understands when you're just not feeling right, not in the way that I ate something wrong, but just something's going on. It's part of your heart. It's part of your being. Your mind, when it starts to thinking, it goes into a scenario, into a situation when it's starting to process, and it's like something's not right here. You're saying this, but I see this, and you're doing this, and you're saying that something's not right here. And your mind is part of your being, it's part of your heart, part of your everything, part of everything that's going on inside of you. Your body, your skin, when you can feel it, your nose, the way you smell, your eyes, the way you see, everything is a part of your heart, your being, and that's what's being looked upon. Not the words that you say, but how you're moving and how you're acting and what you're putting out there and what you're doing in a way of what you're believing inside of you. And some of us get really challenged on, if you don't believe this specific name and this specific being and this specific sense, then you're not a follower. I'm not with you. And I'm going to say that that's just 100% totally false, because there's just no way that through years of translation and through years of everything and through years of people that didn't even know how to write, that technically wrote this book, they didn't have other ways to be able to speak to us, to speak to you about what it is that's going on. They didn't have other ways of being able to give you guidance of making sure that you're headed into the right direction. There's so many things out here to make sure that we're all in the right direction. That right direction is the one core belief that I'm going to say, that it's all about loving another and loving yourself, but mainly loving other people around you, letting them know that they are appreciated, letting them know that they are wonderful, letting them know that they're amazing, letting them know that they got your back. Regardless of what's going on, they've got your assistance. That's something that's like a core message that's said in every religion, in every sense, in everything. And it's the little things in between that we all start to just pick and pick and choose because of what state we're in. And when we're in a certain state, we're going to start preaching a certain message. That's why when you listen to some people and they're doing great, they're doing good, that's like the hardest person in the world to listen to when you're hurting, when you're sad, when you're not feeling right. It's the hardest person because they're going to be preaching messages to you that are just all about what it is you're supposed to be talking about: love and compassion and freedom and joy and just self-control and having and being humbled and being super wise to the things that matter, letting things that go. It's going to be really hard for a majority of people to hear that message because that person is living a completely different life. And when he lives that life, he's going to read something completely different inside of the Bible, as opposed to what you're reading when you're hurting. When you're hurting, you're looking for destruction. And when you're looking for destruction, I promise you, and I guarantee you this, you will find it in that Bible. Because that's one thing that a lot of people love to challenge and love to just really put out there with how the Bible is so negative and so bad and so, homie, you peeing on all my stuff today, man. What's going on with you? I don't want to pee on this if I put it in the house. Everything else is all right. But a lot of people like to challenge a lot on they find all this destructive stuff in the Bible. How God killed this and God told the people to go kill that. And that is true. That is the fact. That is in there. That is a reality. But a lot of times you really should think hard about why and what was going on with that. Why certain stories happen. Why certain things happen. Why certain things happen still to today, right now. That people go out there and harm other people to the point of death because they don't believe in what you believe in. Why does that still happen? And why is that you're looking at it like that is so wrong because it happened then, as opposed to looking like it's still happening right now. And we need to do something about it right now. So if you're looking for destruction, you're going to find it. And that's why for me, certain things I just have to stop watching and stop listening to because you're out putting a message of destruction. All that you try to show and all that you try to bring, all that you try to show more and more people is this: be scared, be in fear, worry. There's so much out there that's going to be able to hurt you. And for me, I'm not about that. That's not the state of being that I'm in. So when I start seeing that and start watching that and start being about that, I start being that because I have no choice, because that's the information that's being brought to me. And when that's being brought to me, I need to be very, very careful because it can start forcing me and transforming me into being that, as opposed to hearing some information. Because there's a guy that I used to listen to at first, I just couldn't stand the guy. Like, I just couldn't, he would just talk and I'm just like, shut up. But yet I would force myself to keep watching him. And today when I watch him, I'm like, dude, you are amazing, because he's talking a message. He's talking, trying to help in a way that is so positive that he wants to see the best in you. And it's hard to hear and see that when you're hurting. When you're hurting, you want to hear someone talk about they hurting. But I'm telling you, you got to fight past that problem that's going on inside of you. That says, I need to get better. So let me listen to people that are doing that are actually making that happen. That I see the moves that they're making and they're actually doing it. They're not talking about it. When he's talking about he's buying this car, he actually has it. And not such a sense of a super luxury thing, but just a sense of, I'm doing something, I'm going to get it done. Certain projects that are going on in people's lives, when they talk about I'm going to get it done, then they actually follow through and make it happen. Certain things like that are hard to watch and hard to listen to when you hurting. Because when you hurting, all you want to do is find more people that are hurting. And I'm going to guarantee you can find that very easily. And in reality, even in the Bible, you can find that very easily. It's in there for you to find. It's in there for you to just stay in misery. It's in there for you to stay stuck. It's in there for you to just keep on destroying yourself. Someone's saying, well, Mark, the Bible, this is all about goodness and greatness. Oh, the Bible is about us as people. What's going on with us? And it's going to explain the stories of who we are and what we're all about. It's more of a sociology book than any sort of psychology or anything kind of book. It's explaining our human nature and what we're all about. And that's exactly what sociology is all about. And that's something that we should study more upon to try to get a better understanding of what this book is all about. Because the stories that are in there are the stories that we are still going through now, that we're having issues with now. Not even just internally, but literally outside in the world going on today, right now. It's all going on. And if you're looking for the destruction, it's there in the world right now for you to find, for you to get, for you to be a part of. It's out there. I watched a video of a guy yesterday with extreme amount of hate, talking about if you don't allow me to this, I'm going to start killing. And that's such amount of hate that it's just disturbing to me. And we have so many people out here that are that way. We got so many black people that just want to kill white people. We got so many white people that just want to, I don't even know what white people want to kill anymore on this planet. That's pretty much done. But we got so many, just every other race that wants to kill every other race. We got so many religions that just want to kill every single religion. We got so many just different clubs and groups that want to kill so many other clubs and groups. We got so many people that just, if you straight, we want to kill you. If you gay, we want to kill you. We just got all this stuff that's going on that's just absolute madness. Absolute madness. And if you're looking for that, it's out there. It's all out there. It's out there for you to see over and over all day long. But the day that you decide to just, I don't want that no more. I want something great. I want something good. I want to build a whole new foundation that's going to be able to set me up into something absolutely incredible. Then look for that and seek that and find that and keep on asking for that. And that's going to come to you. That's for sure going to come to you. Because it's interesting on how that passage works that I'm talking about with building your foundation correctly, building it right, getting it from the right information, getting it from the right source, testing it, making sure that it's working, testing it, making sure that it's going to be strong for you, testing it to make sure that it's going to be able to give you what it is that you're looking for in your end result, not your now result. Your now result sucks. You're not happy. You're hurting. You're feeling in lack. You're feeling in like you're living in a high level of destruction all around you. Everywhere you go, there's battles, there's fightings, there's arguing. You want to get out of that, right? So let's get out of that and let's go find something in somebody that's doing something completely different. And that's interesting because it all just lines up with all that I was just reading on the whole concept of the false preachers, the false teachers, and asking and seeking. We should stay on board with understanding all of that. And that's how we build that foundation. Because for me, that's what I read when I see that. But I've heard this passage being preached many a times. And they all have the different way of saying it. And if you're in a level of destruction, you're not seeing it in a way of good things happening from that foundation. You're seeing it as bad things that you're trying to run away from, or bad things you're trying to keep out. And that's just not the world that I've come to be able to live in, to be able to see, to be able to appreciate, and be able to just absolutely love. The world that's out here that I see is, I appreciate all y'all dogs right now. Johnny, you look good. May, you look real good. And my Oreo, he looks real good. I appreciate everything that I see out here and everything that I got going on out here. And my Kahi back there, he hanging out. He looking good. I appreciate that. And this is something that I want more and more people to be able to live, instead of living the life of seeing that everything is in chaos, that everything is disastrous. It's probably one of the hardest things about what it is that I do with helping people with working with your dogs. I never come in, not never, but I never come in when things are great, when things are going good, when you're just like, I just want to build a better relationship with them because I just want to go more. I always come in when things are in chaos, when things are absolutely disastrous. And then it's for me to come in to show you a whole completely different world. This world is not chaotic. This world is amazing. This world is extremely loving. There's that hate out there. There's a lot of that hate out there. But if you get away from that hate and start to come into love, you're going to start to have that. But I know it's hard. It's really hard to listen and get that information at first. So that's something that I would want everyone to have a good understanding of. Pay real close attention to the state of being that you're in when you start to read this Bible. That if you're in hate, you're going to find it. If you're in love, you're for sure going to find it. And if you're in between, that's a gamble. Don't even put yourself in it. Stay out a moment until you can figure out which state that you're in, to figure out which route that you want to go. Because once you figure out where you want to go, then you're going to be able to find what it is to be able to get you into that direction. But if you want to stay in chaos, I'm telling you, that information, this stuff is out here. It's very easy to find. And with that, man, I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for a very, very interesting day for me today, and a very interesting opportunity for me to start building again in a different way, for a different sense, for somebody else other than just my own self and my own animals, and starting to put my skills out there to be able to benefit more than just my own. And that's something that I greatly appreciate being able to do. That I like helping people with the dogs and stuff, but I kind of prefer to be able to help making and creating and building out of just who knows what. I mean, I just take scrap wood out here and just start slapping it together, start making it work. And it's something to me that I'm so thankful to be able to do, and thankful to be able to have this opportunity to be able to do, and thankful to be able to continue to keep on working with myself, on myself, with other people, and having other people work with me so that I can be able to keep on headed into a better direction on this planet. And I'm so thankful to realize that sometimes if I'm not in say the right mood, I kind of just push certain information away because I don't want to keep going down that certain mood. That if I stay in a negative sense and I look at and find, I'm going to find negative stuff forever. And it's going to make me think that that's just all that's out there and that's just all that it is. And I'm telling you, sometimes you just need to just put the pause on everything that you're watching, studying, looking at, any videos, any movies, anything. Just put a pause on it. Just stop it. For me, I had to put a stop on all the movies, on all the TV shows, on all the everything. And then after I was like, I'm out of that. Now I can't even go back to it because now all I see in it is just hate and strife and damage and destruction. That's a simple Spider-Man movie is destruction. It's all about kill, hurt, steal, sabotage. Just that's all that it is. And it's just that's all that those movies are all about. And so I have to just reject it and stay away from it because that's not what I have. That's not what I'm about. That's not where I am. And that's something that I would want more people to just start to see and start to understand that when you're looking for hate, I'm telling you, you're going to find that information. If you're feeling in that state of hate, you're going to find that information. But that information is not stating that God is bad and God is evil. No, that's who we are. I'm not saying that even we are bad and we are evil. That's just what we do sometimes. It's not who we are. What we're default to is I appreciate, I love, and I want to care for. But sometimes some bad things happen to us that we get a little evil because we feel like all we see is evil coming to us. So then we want to put out evil because that's just what's came to us. And that's very unfortunate. Hey, come here. Johnny. You're not running up the tree to get that squirrel. Come here. May. Johnny, get down. May. Sorry, had a dog malfunction. He think he likes Superman to be able to jump up inside of these trees to. These dogs just make me smile. As much as I try not to smile when I see them do stuff like that because I don't want them to, it's super cute to me. And that's something that I would want more and more people to just be able to look at what you have and just be excited about it and just appreciate it and just look at it like, this is the best ever. This is the greatest ever. Even bad things that come to you. This is the best ever. This is the greatest ever. Thank you.